With us here in the studio are Brian Lynch, who represents the American Atheist Center, which is located in Austin, Texas, and Jim White, who's been with us many times before from Alpha and Omega Ministries here in town. And I want to welcome both of you to the program today.
It's good to be here.
Tom.
I wanted to talk a little bit, as we get rolling here, about your position, Jim, that atheism is a religion. Now, I'm an atheist myself, but I'm not going to take sides in this debate. You and I have gone at it before.
Yes.
But,
well, we haven't really gone at it too much on this topic.
Not this one. Someday I'm sure we will.
Yes.
But I've heard this argument before from callers and other atheists who've debated. Tell us why you think atheism is a religion.
Okay, I'll give you a chance to catch your breath there, Tom.
Thank you.
Basically, when I, for example, have made the statement that I believe atheism is religion, I am defining religion in terminology that is given to me, for example, by Webster's Unabridged Dictionary, which I have a photocopy from here. One of the meanings of religion is given as any specific system of belief, worship, conduct, etc., often involving a code of ethics and a philosophy, as the Christian religion, the Buddhist religion, etc. Loosely, any system of beliefs, practices, ethical values, etc., resembling, suggestive of, or likened to such a system, such as humanism, is his religion. And that is the example given in Webster's. And so basically what I'm talking about when I talk about atheism being a religion is I'm not saying that atheism teaches that there is a God per se, because obviously atheism would be very upset if I said such a thing. But basically what I'm saying is atheism represents a worldview that includes within it beliefs such as materialism, rationalism, things like that. It includes within it, in the worldview, a certain set form. It has, over the years, developed similarities to, quote-unquote, religions in the theistic realm. When I say theistic, I'm talking about God. And atheism basically is a competing philosophy with, for example, Christianity or Buddhism or Islam. And what we see today is an attempt to have theism as a religion removed from, shall we say, secular education from the public schools, and yet we want to have complete freedom to have atheism in its place. And I believe both are worldviews.
Wait. They're teaching atheism in schools now? Is that what's happening?
Well, when I say atheism, I'm talking about a removal from the public school system of any type of system where theism is acknowledged. And yes, atheism is the call of the day.
Well, this is interesting then. What you're saying is then that religion is being taught in schools.
Excuse me?
Are you saying religion is being taught in schools?
A certain kind of religion, yes. Mm-hmm. Atheism.
My goodness.
Not to my knowledge. I went to public schools and we never learned atheism. You're absolutely so totally wrong in your definition of religion and your understanding of atheism that it's incredible.
Okay.
Atheism is not a religion because religion is, by definition, something that attempts to relate man and human beings to some sort of a super entity through prayers, beliefs, rituals, and so on and so forth. Atheists have no belief systems. This is one thing that characterizes atheism and that characterizes no religion. There is no such thing as an atheist ritual. There is no such thing as an atheist practice. There's no such thing as an atheist belief system. In other words, I don't say I am an atheist because I believe there is no God. I say there is no evidence to support a belief in God. Therefore, the belief in God is irrational, foolish, and useless. And, now wait a second, there's another thing.
Sure.
Religion actually comes from a Latin verb, which is religare, which means to bind back, to tie down, or to fasten.
Right.
And this is essentially what religion has done to the human race. It has bound it, it has tied it, it has held it back, and it has continually tried to assert itself in society, and the effect has always been detrimental. Throughout the entire history of the human race, there have been people who have posited various gods, various ritual practices, various worship forms, and various activities that people should engage in because somebody has said it's good for them. Now, What the atheists do is they say this is worthless, this is foolish, there is no reason to engage in all of these religious practices. We want to make sure that the people who do want to do this separate themselves from society and go off and play with their little toys, go off and play their games, go off and live in their fantasy world, and don't bother the rest of us. We are not imposing anything on society. We are simply saying we don't care to live under your religious stricture system.
Okay, I'd like to respond by that. First of all, by in reference to religion, yes. If you define religion specifically as something that involves a deity or a supreme power, supernatural power, then obviously, by definition, you are saying atheism is not religion. I read to you the definition that I was following. It is a looser definition. I'm the first one to admit that. Mm-hmm. But even in, for example, here in the aims and purposes of the American Atheist, you recognize this, of course. This is
from our publication list,
okay. Right? Publication list in the back under the aims and purposes. It directly says that atheism is well, it doesn't use the word belief, but it says that they believe or accept materialism, which declares that the cosmos is devoid of immanent conscious purpose, it is governed by its own inherent, immutable, and impersonal laws, and so on and so forth. And in fact, to become a member of the organization, one must check off what he is, an atheist, a freethinker, a humanist, a rationalist, an objectivist, a Unitarian, so on and so forth. But one must agree to this aims and purposes, this, well, for lack of a better word, a creed, if you wanted to use the term.
No, you're wrong. Because, wait a second. No, you're throwing around terms loosely, and you're not using them properly. A belief in something is accepting something without evidence. We deliberately don't use the word belief because we only accept that for which there is evidence. We do not say we believe in science. We do not say we believe in materialism. We do not say we believe in anything. We accept these things because they can be demonstrated to be factual and useful. And this is a very important distinction which you are deliberately trying to blur, and which all religious people deliberately try to blur.
Well, let me respond by that by mentioning
this is nothing but an attempt by you to dissemble the listeners.
Please, sir. I have no desire to do that at all. I'm just mentioning the fact that, for example, Webster's Dictionary defines atheism as the belief that there is no God, and as an atheist is one who believes
that definition was not. No. An atheist is not someone who believes there is no God. An atheist is one who maintains that there is no evidence that warrants a belief in God, as I've just told you. Now, shut up and listen to me.
Brian, I did not come here to argue with you.
Yes, you did.
I was invited here to discuss
No, you were not invited here. You pushed your way onto this station.
I am not.
You were not invited here. I was. You were the one who screamed and yelled like a little brat and said, "You have to put me on this show with this atheist."
I cannot believe that this is being said, Tom.
Well, that's the way it was presented to me.
It's interesting, Tom. This is the 7th time I've been on KFYI. I am a fairly regular guest here, and it's amazing that Mr. Lynch would say that because it's completely untrue. But I refuse to respond to you in the same manner you respond to me, and that's just the difference between us. But from a book entitled What on Earth is an Atheist by Madeleine Murray O'Hare, she says we atheists try to find some basis of rational thinking on which we can base our actions and our beliefs, and we have it.
She doesn't use the word belief. I have copies of that book, which I'll be happy to send you.
She does not. Materialism. It is valid philosophy which cannot be discredited.
Belief.
Essentially, materialism's philosophy holds that nothing exists but natural phenomena. Materialism is a philosophy of life and living according to rational processes with intellectual and other capabilities of the individual to be developed to the highest degree in a social system where this may be possible. There are no supernatural forces, no supernatural entities such as gods or heavens or hells or life after death. There are no supernatural forces, nor can there be. We atheists believe that nature simply exists. Matter is, material is. Pages 40 through 43.
It doesn't say believe.
Now, basically what I'm saying is that if a person says, I believe in materialism, I accept materialism, that is in itself a belief. Now, if we want to get into a discussion of what Mr. Lynch has brought up in reference to whether a belief in theism is rational or atheism is rational, then that's fine. But I just want to make sure to lay the foundation that both of us are representing a worldview. One accepts materialism, another accepts theism. But those are still two competing worldviews, and they need to be treated as such.
Yes, they are two competing worldviews, and I think that the reason that you people feel so threatened by us atheists is because when we say there is no God, what that immediately means is that there's no rational basis or need for religion, and there is absolutely no reason why the church or religion in any form should have a voice in how our society is structured and run. That's where you're really coming from when you get right down to the central core of this issue, is that there is really no room or no need for you to be here.
Well, actually, the root core of the reason that a theist such as myself would take the time to enter into discussion such as this is due to the fact that I do believe that there is rational reason to believe in theism, and that there are many instances where theism is misrepresented in regards to what it teaches and what it believes. And I think when a public forum is opened up, such as we have here on KFYI, and I'm glad that FYI at least is brave enough to tackle subjects like this. There are other stations that won't talk about things like this, but
we know that.
Yes, that both viewpoints can be represented and presented to the audience, and we can discuss it in that way. And I would hope that is what we'll be able to do.
All right, we're going to take a break here, and we're going to come back. We're talking with Brian Lynch of the American Atheist Center and Jim White of Alpha and Omega Ministries.